Hi, this is Bill Wstrahan, and I appreciate having a few minutes with the board tonight to talk about innovation and strategy. We're going to jump right to it. On slide 2, largely we have captured value through scale. We're the largest high-speed internet provider in the country, the largest provider of video, and therefore the largest purchaser of video in the country. We've seen where our consumers have moved from thinking of us perhaps as a luxury good, a discretionary item, to really a necessity for the lifestyle that they want to maintain. The combination of these has meant that we're also able to acquire licensing rights for content and acquire the equipment that we need to run our system with a really strong price advantage, which has given us a bit of a low-cost play in the marketplace. But the nature of competition is changing. On the left-hand side of the page, we see where we've been. We've competed against the telcos and the satellite companies, largely companies that are operating the exact same business model that we are. The nature of competition and the logic becomes who can be operationally effective, who can be efficient, who can operate that business model the best. Moving forward, however, our new competitors get to choose their own business model. They're not wed to the same heavy capital-intensive running of wire and distribution of signal that we have. They're largely digital companies. In fact, they may even be using us as a third-party provider to deliver their digital product into the homes of consumers to compete against us. Winning now, our logic needs to first be, what is our strategy? What is our plan to capture value? What will our business model be? And it's going to have to vary, and sometimes we'll have more than one, unlike in the past. And the choice of that will first be the big decision that we make before we even get the ability to execute it well. It's a dramatic change in the competitive environment from where we've come. We face, really for the first time, a unique danger. And that danger is, in the past, we've seen creation of value and capture of value being almost a closed ecosystem for us. The creation of value came from access to content, access to television, access to the internet. Because we delivered that signal ourselves and we delivered it over a proprietary network, it was very easy to know where the value was that was being created and capture all of it, perhaps with the exception of the amount that we paid to video providers, the content creators, if you will. Moving forward, however, these new organizations, these digital business models that we'll be competing against, they're able to get their product into the hands of consumers not through a proprietary network, but through the open internet, sometimes even using our pipes and our ISP services to do so, using our tools to compete against us, if you will. But more importantly, it's a separation now of the ecosystem between value creation and value capture. Understanding that pulling apart of what had been fused is a critical element for us to understand that there is a challenge here, that value that we may have assumed that we would have captured in the past will no longer be able to assume going forward. Over-the-top, direct-to-consumer from networks is all a major threat and a challenge to us. I'm going to move right up to the source of our competitive advantage is therefore also changing. Low cost worked great for us, and we had a structural advantage in doing that. In a subscription-based business model, the rational pricing is to be low, to gain as many subscribers as you can, and then charge them just enough to kind of keep them with you and not overcharge them, but not necessarily undercharge them either. In a more product-based marketplace, where innovation of technology and product is essential, a more customer-centric design sensibility is absolutely critical to our being competitive. We need to move to a greater perceived value rather than low cost going forward because of these structural changes in the model. So how do we adapt? There's a PARC model that's frequently spoken of: people, architecture, routines, and culture. We could look at a lot of these, but the keys here, I think, is in people, we need to bring out greater business acumen because of the new complexity of the operating environment that we find ourselves in. This whole notion of the separation of creation and capture, the notion of having to choose the model first before we execute. Architecture. We need to free up our technology teams to be able to make mistakes. They need, and this is a cultural element as well, they need to be able to move to exploration and not just exploiting the assets that we've had in the ground before. That's going to be hard to do. More team-based routines are going to be necessary to get the kind of cross-functional creativity that we might see in a design thinking mentality introduced to our company that traditionally had simply been an operator. And therefore, what should our long-term goals be? Largely, it should be to face up to the obstacles that we have, that the breakup of the video bundle is going to change the nature of value capture and creation, but that we can use our embedded base as a way to lever the ability to invest, using our cash flow to invest in the development of technology and bring great products to the market. And that's where X1 as a platform, more than a set-top box, keys in. Thank you for your time this evening.